Okay, good morning everyone, and Chazak, Baruch, thank you for joining us on this beautiful Thursday morning as we are studying together Tavo. Tavo has a lot of beautiful ideas, and today I'd like to share with you a very beautiful and important Orah Hayim HaKadosh. We're studying chapter 26, Chavav, Pasuk Tet Zayin. Moshe Rabbeinu says to the Jewish people, please follow along. Hayom hazeh Adonai Elohecha mitzavecha la'asot et hachukim ha'ele ve'et ha'mishpatim. On this day, God is giving you to do these commandments, these laws. V'shamarta ve'asita otam bechol levavecha v'chol nafshecha. Do them with all your heart, with all your soul. So the Orah Hayim explains, what does that mean, Hayom hazeh? What does that mean today? I'm giving you commandments. Didn't they get the commandments 40 years ago? Okay. So he explains that they couldn't do all of the commandments till now because they were out of Israel, chutz la'aretz. And it's only when you're in Israel could you do all of them. And so Moshe is saying today, as we're on the border of Israel, you're about to enter Eretz Israel, today you'll be able, meaning very soon you'll be able to start doing. Beautiful. Next pasuk. Et Adonai he'emarta hayom. You have glorified Hashem today. Lihiyot lecha lelohim, that He should be a God for you. Ve'lalechet bedrachav, to go in His ways. Lishmor chukav u'mitzvotav u'mishpatav, to keep His chukim, His mitzvot, and His mishpatim. Ve'lishmoa bekolo. So we have over here 5 descriptions of what we are to do in order to glorify God. We glorify God. How do you glorify God? Lalechet bedrachav. You have to first of all walk in His ways. What does that mean to walk in His ways? It cannot mean observing the commandments, because that's the next line, that's the next phrase. So what does it mean to walk in His ways? Orah Hayim explains, Hagam shelo tziva Hashem lalechet bahem. There's certain things in life that Hashem did not necessarily instruct the Jewish people to do. He didn't give a commandment that you have to visit somebody sick. He didn't give a commandment that you have to, escort someone out of, there's no commandments to invite someone in your house. What does it say? What does it say? Invite. However, when a person understands and recognizes that this is the way of God, this is what God would do. God visits the sick. He went to visit Avraham Avinu. So it's only fair, it only makes sense that I should want to be like Hashem. So that's what it means to go in His ways. To go in His ways are all the commandments that they're not commandments. It's very interesting, important Orah Hayim, this one-liner by the way. There's a lot of mitzvot, but there's a lot of things that are not mitzvot. If someone comes to you and says, where does it say? Where does it say I should open my home? Where does it say I should? Because that's what Hashem does. So lalechet b'drachav is where it says. So if you want to know where it says, that's where it says. Beautiful. Bikur holim, kevurat metim, v'kadome. Visiting the sick, burying the dead, and the like. Okay, so that's what it means to lalechet b'drachav. Next, lishmor chukav, to keep the chukim. We know chukim are mitzvot that we don't understand. Then the mitzvot are the mitzvot that we do understand. And the mishpatim are the laws of man to man. Mishpat, like a judge. Lishmoa bekolo, number 5, is to, says the Orah Hayim, Talmud Torah. It's to study Torah. There's a mitzvah to study Torah. And the Orah Hayim points out that it's written at the end, it's written last. Because studying Torah is not a means, it's not a means to an end. You don't study just so that you know what to do. Studying is its own goal. Studying is its own mitzvah. When you're studying right now Torah, my friends, when you're on this Zoom listening to Torah, that is very, very priceless. That is very valuable. That is very powerful. That's a mitzvah that you're doing by learning Torah. And it's a mitzvah that, it's a mitzvah in its own right. Just like shaking lulav. Just like shaking lulav is not a mitzvah that leads to another mitzvah. It's its own mitzvah. So you have to realize that learning is its own mitzvah. Detach of doing. Of course, we learn in order to know what to do. but learning itself is magical, it's powerful. Learning itself saves lives. Learning itself helps us against the enemy. Okay? So, by the way, when the Jewish people received the Torah, they said two very famous words that everyone here for sure knows those words. What are they? Na'aseh v'nishma. Okay? If you said yes, please, that's also nice. But that's not what we said. We didn't say yes, please, or no, thank you. We said na'aseh v'nishma. What does na'aseh v'nishma mean? Someone said, how much? When Hashem offered the Torah, we asked how much. How much is it? Right? It depends. Oh, it's free. Right. Okay, we'll take two. So, na'aseh v'nishma. Na'aseh means will. What is na'aseh? What is nishma? So, na'aseh means we'll do. Nishma means we'll listen. But the obvious question is, how could you do before you listen? How could you know what to do before you learn? So therefore the Zohar explains, na'aseh is doing mitzvot, nishma is learning Torah. And the reason nishma is written second is because you don't learn necessarily just to know what to do. Learning is its own goal. Very beautiful. And therefore, says the Pasuk, we're here, we're following in His ways, we're learning Torah. Beautiful, very nice. Here's what I want to get to today. The next Pasuk, Yud Het. If you glorify God and follow His commandments, V'Adonai ha'emirecha hayom lihiyot lo le'am segula. Then God, in return, will glorify you. And you'll be for Him an am segula. What does it mean, an am segula? It means a unique people. Special. Treasured. You'll be to Him segula. Ka'asher deber lach. Like He has said. Beautiful. That's an amazing reward. That's an amazing reward. That will be a special nation. A unique nation. Even if another nation comes one day and will maybe be better than us. Another nation will come and say, God, look, we're better than the Jews. God says, it's too late. I already chose. I already picked. When a man marries a woman, he marries her for life. Maybe another lady comes who may be better or prettier or smarter or better, shatra, balabasta material. Doesn't matter. I already picked. Hashem picked and He's done picking. Case closed. Am segula. Okay. Pasuk should end right here, but it doesn't. It says 3 more words. And I want to focus on these words today. And it says God's going to glorify you and make you into a unique nation. V'lishmor kol mitzvotav. But you got to keep His commandments. Ora Hayim says, I don't understand. What in the world is this 3 words, is this phrase doing? Halo de davar ze hu mitnai hakavod sherasha ma'aseh Israel. Doing commandments is among the things that we have to do to glorify God. That was the previous Pasuk, what we have to do for Him. Why is it appearing in Pasuk Yud Het in a list of things that He's going to do for us? Yud Het should only have the things that He's going to do for us. He's going to make us a unique nation. He's going to put us above the Goyim. And He's going to give you commandments. Why is He giving me commandments in this Pasuk? It belongs to the other Pasuk. It belongs to what I'm obligated to do for Him. The Ulai says the Ora Hayim 4 beautiful answers. Number 1. Ki tiferet Yisrael hi. It says actually, it's true. It's talking about here how Hashem is going to glorify the Jews. But He says you should know, we don't only glorify Him by doing commandments. Commandments is also a way that He glorifies us. Tiferet Yisrael hi. It's a glory to the Jewish people. The fact that Hashem gave and elevated us with giving us the mitzvot, my friends, we have to realize is a gift. Ma shelo asa ken larishonim. Yes, Hashem is making you unique. Hashem is making you special. You know how? By giving you commandments. We often think of the mitzvot as obligations, as commandments, but we fail to realize that mitzvot are opportunities. Mitzvot is a gift. Hashem, the creator of the world, gave us 613 gifts. The commandments are gifts. He didn't give the avot these gifts. He gave them very few. We know that originally Adam HaRishon was given only six gifts, 6 commandments. He, murder and idolatry. These are gifts, by the way. We have to realize that the Torah is a gift of how to live. The Torah is for this world. The Torah is happiness. The Torah is success. The Torah is beauty. The Torah is a recipe. When someone gives you a recipe, you don't say, here's another list of instructions. Hello, this is a recipe for the most delicious cake. You take the recipe, you go enjoy it. We have to realize the Torah is a recipe. 613 ingredients of how to make the most beautiful life. And if you don't have this recipe, destruction, depression, anxiety, stress, hate, negativity, failure. The world didn't have 613. And what happened? Chaos. There was no order in the world until Hashem gave the Jewish people the 613. And all of a sudden we were a nation that was blessed. We were a nation with laws and values and how to have a functional society. And slowly, our values have affected and penetrated the rest of the world. Today you see the world accepts the Judeo-Christian values. Unfortunately, they're going a little bit backwards now. They're going in the wrong direction. But the Torah is 613 ingredients for a recipe of success, my friends, in life. The rest of the world, they didn't get it. They got 7 mitzvot, 7 gifts. We got 613 gifts. So the pasuk is saying, yes, I'm making you special by giving you these 613 gifts. You should know, says the pasuk, the 613 are all different ways, essentially, of protection from abominable behavior. From behavior that brings filth to a person, to his soul. The Torah is derecheha darchei no'am. We have to realize that, my friends. The Torah is pleasant. The Torah is beautiful. The Torah is delicious. The Torah is life. If you're not living Torah, if you don't have 613, you're missing out. That is a matter of fact. If you're not living with these 613, then there's something missing in your life. You're missing. There's no way that you found a recipe for happiness. It has to be. The only way there is right here with these 613. And I'm sure you know many people in life that may have a lot of other things. But if they don't have this, if they don't have Torah, they're not living. And I'm sure you know, you probably speak to them, you see them, they're bitter, they're angry, they're wondering, what's missing in my life? I have everything. You have everything except. When you have Torah, you have everything. The Torah, the 613, they're the gifts. That's how we become better people. That's how we have better marriages. That's how we have better relationship with our children. It's with these mitzvot. The mitzvot were given to refine the people. The mitzvot were given to refine people. Meaning, what that means, by the way, what I'm about to say is a little controversial. But today, a lot of people in the world will tell you that man is fine the way they are. Human beings were born good, perfect. Whatever you believe is right. Whatever you feel is correct. Whoever you want to marry, whatever gender, that's fine. Because you are good. And if you're good, then whatever you think must be good. But that's not a Jewish outlook. Judaism teaches Ki yetzer lev ha'adam ra min ne'urav, that mankind is born with bad. We're born not always thinking the right things. We're born negative, selfish, lazy, bad midot. That's how we're born. When a child's acting up, The child is doing what he's supposed to do. The default of a human being's character is to misbehave. That's the default. We need to be taught good behavior. Children need to be taught to be grateful. It's not natural. Naturally, we want to be independent. We don't want to recognize that I needed somebody to be there for me in my life. So, part of the Torah is refining a man, refining the human being. Remember when Moshe went up to Sinai to receive the Torah, the angels did not want to give it to him. They fought him. They said, keep it up here, God. You're going to give it to man and they're going to ruin it. And Hashem said to Moshe, if you want the Torah, fight, respond. So he said to the angels, listen, you guys want the Torah, what's in it? Give me an example of a mitzvah in the Torah. So the angel said, respect your parents. He said, do you guys have parents? What's another example? Don't kill. Do you guys have death, life? Covet. Do you own homes? Adultery. Are you married? And Moshe goes basically down the list showing the angels the Torah doesn't apply to them. And the lesson of the story is that it doesn't apply to them, but it does apply to us. Because we as human beings do want to kill. We do want to steal. We do want to commit adultery. We do want to murder. We do not respect. And that's why the Torah was given to us. Lo nitena Torah ela lesaref bahen et haberiot. The Torah was given to purify, to refine. Matter of fact, I'm reading to you a very wild Gemara, Masechet Betzalel. Look what it says over here. Gemara says, you know why Hashem chose the Jewish people to give the Torah to? Why did He pick us? You may say because we were worthy. None of that. Says the Ora Hayim, you know why He gave it to us? Mepenei shehen azin. Because we are chutzpah. Because we're brazen. Because we're very tough-natured. Jews, we're not easy people to deal with. Or at least we weren't. There's nobody more tough than the Jews. So God gave the Torah to the Jews as an experiment. Let us see if the Torah can help the worst nation on planet Earth, the Jewish people. That's what really, in essence, it's saying. We were the worst nation. And Hashem was trying to prove a point. That even Jews could change with Torah. And take a look. Take a look at the humanness, at the care for life that the Jewish people, that Israel shows in October 7th. It's unbelievable. And the world can't stand it. The world realizes that deep down they see how patient we are, how much we care about the enemy's civilians. And when they see us risking our own people they hate it. They hate it. Deep down they all know the humanitarian, the love, the patience that the Jewish people have. And it's all because of our Torah. Look, it's all because of our Torah. So when they see things like this, with the pagers, how strategic, how careful we are to only kill people that are carrying a pager, that are Hezbollah, that are not, we care for civilians. The world's, it's a slap in the face. They can't handle that. Because they're trying to say the opposite, and then, but all the facts go against it. The truth of the matter is we care very much, and we do everything to care and to be sensitive and to preserve life. So anyways, this is the first point of the Ora Hayim. You know why? You know why Hashem is, you know what the reward is? Mitzvot. The mitzvot are the biggest reward. Mitzvot are to help us, that the recipe for success in this world. Number 2. Yirtzeh, what the pasuk means to say, I'll make you a unique nation, and I'll give you mitzvot. Ki Hashem yehazek zeroot l'shmor kol ha-mitzvot. Wow. Says the Ora Hayim. What it means over here is that Hashem is promising that if you keep your 5, if you go in my ways and you keep the commandments and the chukim and the mishpatim and everything and learn Torah, if you do your part of making me unique, I will make you unique and ensure that you're able to keep the mitzvot. This is indeed a glory. Ki lo hakol zochim ledavar zeh. Not every person merits to do mitzvot. Hagam sheyachpetu lishmor. You may want to do a mitzvah. Lo yizdamen liyadam. The opportunity to do so does not always present itself. Think about this class right now that you're listening to. The fact that you're listening, just think about the blessings that right now are in your life just to allow you to listen to my class. Okay, not me personally, I'm not talking in an arrogant way. The fact that you can listen to any class, okay, especially my class, okay? Just think about how many things have to go right for you to be listening to a Torah class right now. Your brain's working. You're healthy. You have the time to listen. A lot of people don't have time right now. They want to be in my class, but they can't. They have obligations, responsibilities. So you have time. So the fact that you could do a mitzvah is itself such a blessing. How many mitzvah? Every mitzvah, by the way, you need blessing. You want to give tzedakah, a man comes to you for money. To give tzedakah means that you have money to give. A lot of people don't have money to give. A lot of people wish they could give, they can't. So to give means that you have money. To pray every morning. How many things did you have to do to be able to come to shul, to open a book, to sit down, to pray? How many things in your life have to work out, have to line up? A lot of people want to do mitzvot, but they can't. They don't have the opportunity to. So Hashem's promising, lishmor mitzvot. You got to do the mitzvah, but God's promising, I'll give you the opportunity to do the mitzvah. I'll give you the means. I'll give you the ability. I'll give you the mental freedom, peace of mind, happiness, the lack of stress. All of that is blessing. Lishmor mitzvotav. In order so that you can do the mitzvot. And we have to remember that. That's a beautiful idea. That's a beautiful idea. that to do mitzvot, we need tools, we need things. And the biggest blessing, the reward is not in this world. When we do a mitzvah, the reward is not in this world. Schar mitzvah b'hai al ma'aleika. You cannot get rewarded in this world. This world is physical. Mitzvah is spiritual. You cannot pay me for a spiritual deed with a physical currency. So then what does the Torah mean when it says, if you do the mitzvot, I'll give you rain. If you do the mitzvot, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. But the commentaries explain that those are not the reward. Rain, children, that's not the reward. That's in order to allow you to continue to do good. You see, if you don't have children, how are you going to teach Torah? How are you going to do a Brit Milah on someone? So God says, okay, I'll give you a child. That's not the reward. That's to allow you to do a mitzvah. When a tzaddik does a mitzvah, God says, okay, so I see, I gave you a child, you're doing good with that child. I'm going to give you another one. I gave you money, you gave it to tzedakah. I'm going to give you another money. I'm going to give you another dollar. I'm going to give you more money. What happens with, right? I gave you time, you did a good right thing with it, you learned, you did chesed. Think about it, how lucky a person that could go to the hospital in the day and visit sick people. How lucky is that person? That they have time in the day, that they're healthy to walk around and visit sick people, that they're not the one that's sick that needs to be visited. That's a very big blessing that you could go around visiting people. So when a person does the right thing with their money or their time or their brain or whatever it is, their children, when they do the right thing, God says, okay, I'm going to keep giving you. That's not your reward. That's so you could keep doing good. When a man is sent overseas to sell, the company puts him in a hotel. Is the hotel his reward? It's not his reward. He needs a place to stay. So we give him a hotel. and then he needs to go around making sales. So we give him a car. And if he's a really good salesman, then he doesn't only need a car, but he needs a driver so that he doesn't have to worry about parking. Because extra 10 minutes in parking is going to waste sales. So you know what? The company says, okay, we're going to upgrade you. We're going to give you now a driver. And then they say, you know what? We're going to give you a better hotel room. Before you were staying next to the airport. Now we're going to put you in the middle because we need, time is money. You need to go make sales. So you're going to have closer access to the sales, to the buyers. So we're going to get you a better hotel room in the middle. It's worth a lot more, but it doesn't matter. Is that extra hotel room, again, is that his reward? No. That's only to allow him to keep selling. So all the blessings in this world, when Hashem gives us a nice house, good location, when Hashem gives us a car, driver maybe, when He gives us all these things, that's not the reward. That's actually because we're doing a good job. So He says, here, take more. Do more. Do better. Chaz v'shalom, when a person stops giving tzedakah, when the salesman stops making sales, so the company says, okay, listen, let's put you back in the hotel next to the airport. We're going to downgrade you a little bit. You know what? You don't need a driver anymore. Anyways, you're not selling so much. Find your own parking. Eventually, the company says to the guy, you know what? Come back home. You're not doing your job. So a person in this world, when they do their job, they're given blessing. The blessing is not the reward. The blessing is the means to continue doing their job. The reward is in the next world. So that's what the Pasuk is saying. The Pasuk is saying that Hashem is going to bless you in return and make you unique. You know how? Lishmor mitzvotav. Not that you have to keep the commandments. That's something that you have to do. But what God will do is He'll take care of everything else. In order for you to do, He'll give you the money and the time and the children and the space and the head and the stress-free environment, right? He'll give you all of that. Lishmor kol mitzvotav. He'll give you the ability to do His mitzvot. That's on Him. So when you glorify Him by doing mitzvot, He'll glorify you by allowing you to continue doing mitzvot. That's what we tell the baby. Keshem shenichnas laberit. The same way you've entered the Brit. Kach yikanes la Torah mitzvot chuppah maasim tovim. May Hashem continue to give you the means, the tools to keep doing mitzvot for the rest of your life. That's a beautiful beracha. When someone does a good favor for you, you tell them back, Tizke Lemitzvot. When you say that, you're giving them the biggest beracha possible in life. If you just tell a guy who does you a favor, if you say back, Hashem should bless you with money, you're giving him a very narrow blessing. You're limiting the blessing to money. If you say Hashem should bless you with long life, you're limiting it to long life. If you say Hashem should bless you with health, you're limiting it with health. But when you tell a guy Tizke Lemitzvot, you tell a guy you should merit to do mitzvot, you're blessing him with all of the above. Because in order to do mitzvot, you need health, you need money, you need life, you need time. So Tizke Lemitzvot, you should continue to do mitzvot. That means that you need all of the above. Mwah! That's the most beautiful blessing. That's the second answer. Says the Ora Hayim, answer number 3. If you do your job, then Hashem will do His. And what does that mean? Lishmor kol mitzvotav. He'll do His job in doing the mitzvot. What does that mean? That means, says Ora Hayim, shoben mitzvah lo yera davara. It means that Hashem will continue to protect you. We know there's a concept, shulhei mitzvah inan nizukin, that a person doing a mitzvah won't get hurt. Gemara discusses this at length in Masechet Pesachim. If you're doing a mitzvah, you're protected. You have a invisible shield. Now again, there's parameters, there's qualifications. It's not, wear tefillin and you can walk into the middle of Gaza and nothing will happen to you. That's not. Gemara says that even. If it's dangerous, black and white, you cannot. But in general, there is a concept that if you do a mitzvah, you'll be protected. And so that's what the pasuk is saying. V'lishmor. Hashem will protect and guard you to when you're doing His commandments. Beautiful. And number 4, if you glorify God, and God in return will glorify you, and He'll do what? Lishmor mitzvotav. What does that mean? Number 4 says the Orah Hayim. Moshe is actually telling the Jewish people something that he's very jealous of. It's an interesting thing to say Moshe was jealous. Maybe ask this trivia to your friends today at lunch. What was Moshe jealous of? What was he jealous of? What do you want? What do you want? What are you jealous of? What do you want most in life? What are you jealous of? Who are you jealous of? It's a very nice question to ask people, to wonder for yourself. What are you jealous of? What are the things in life that we see that we want? You know what Moshe was jealous of? Be'inyan tefilat Moshe likanes la'aretz. Moshe Rabbeinu, we know he wanted one thing. He wanted to go into Israel. But the Gemara says, why do you want to go into Israel? Did he want a falafel sandwich? Did he want to go see mini Israel? He wanted to see the Kinneret. He wanted to see the Dead Sea. What did Moshe want in Israel? Ela amar Moshe, yesh harbe mitzvot shetiluyot ba'aretz. Moshe wanted to go into Israel because there's many mitzvot that you could only do in Israel. And that's what he's saying over here. Re'u ma'alatchem. Look how precious you are. Look how Hashem has raised you. Lishmor kol mitzvotav. He has given you an opportunity to do all of His commandments. Unlike me, I could only do some. You guys will be able to do all. And that's what it means. He's glorifying you today. It's a something that even Moshe couldn't do. To keep all of the commandments is something very lucky. We're very blessed. And again, it ties in a little bit to what we've spoken about today. But the fact that we can keep commandments, the fact that we have commandments, Moshe was jealous of that. Moshe said, I wish I could go into Israel. You don't understand how lucky you are. You don't understand how lucky you are. And unfortunately, sometimes in life, hindsight is 20/20. We don't appreciate things until afterwards. And we have to remember that. We should create and learn to cultivate a appreciation for mitzvot. The fact that we can go to shul and pray. We don't appreciate it when we could do it. We only appreciate it afterwards when we no longer have the chance. And it's important to appreciate it while we have it. While we can. If you could give tzedakah today, take it in. Appreciate that. Because, God forbid, the day will come that you're going to be patur from mitzvot, and then you're going to miss it. I think we all experienced that in COVID time. In COVID, we couldn't go to shul anymore. Remember that? And not only that, I wish I could go to shul. People started having the renegade, Minyan. They started gathering in the streets. They started doing minyanim backyard. Right? You appreciate things when you can't. So Moshe says, realize how lucky you are. You're going into Israel. You can do all the mitzvot. Recognize that you're lucky. I can't. I only have some. We have a lot of times throughout our lives where sometimes we're excused from mitzvot. Does it hurt you? Do you cry? It rains on Shabbat. You can't go to a class because it's raining. Or maybe you can, but it's just too hard. Does it hurt you? Gemara says that at the end of time, the Goyim, they're going to ask Hashem for one last chance. Please, God, give us one more chance to make it up, to do the mitzvot. So Gemara says, Masech Avodah Zarah, okay, fine. God's going to give them one last chance. Which mitzvah, anyone know? Anyone know which mitzvah God's going to give them? Give it a second, if you want to write it down in the chat. He's going to give them the mitzvah of, excellent, sukkah. Go ahead, sit in a sukkah. And they're going to go in the sukkah, and what's God going to do? He's going to make it very hot that day. And they're not going to have central AC in the sukkah, and they're going to sit there, and they're going to be sweating. And finally they're going to leave the sukkah, and they're going to kick it and say, we don't need this. We're out of here. And the question is though, there's nothing wrong with leaving an uncomfortable sukkah. You're allowed to leave an uncomfortable sukkah if it's very hot. Hamitzta'er patur min sukkah. A person who's in suffering is allowed to leave a sukkah. It's interesting halakha, but it's a halakha. So if it's really very hot, then even a Jew is supposed to leave the sukkah. And why is God using that now against the non-Jew that they're going to leave? And the commentaries explain that the problem is not that they leave. The problem is that they kick. The fact that they kick as they leave. We don't need this. Yes, we don't have to sit. You're excited that you don't have to do a mitzvah? Moshe Rabbeinu was jealous. It killed him that he couldn't do a mitzvah. The fact that you could do a mitzvah, how lucky you are. Lishmor mitzvotav. And so this is the fourth idea of the Orah Hayim. We should be zocheh always to do mitzvot. And then in return, Hashem should bless us with the unique ability to always reap the benefits and to continue doing all of those mitzvot. Amen. We'll stop over here. Have a wonderful day. And hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.